All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win as a consumer advocate. And we greatly appreciate those that support the program online at consumerqb.com. We got Sam Mckeown coming up here in just a moment, executive coach, Alive and at Peace Coaching here in studio. Before we do, we always like to feature our real estate listings live on air and help our sellers profit more and sell faster by featuring our listings in ways other real estate companies don't. We've got 1641 El Terre Trail in Clearwater, beautiful Pinellas County renovation property here. This could be a long or short-term rental, 2555 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, completely updated, and you've got new quartz countertops here on this beautiful property in Pinellas County. You also have a built-in hot tub on the screen lanai. So great opportunity. 1641 El Terre Trail in Clearwater, one of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We also have this commercial listing, 4404 Orient Road in Tampa. This is a $1 million listing of mine. Beautiful property. About $1.4 million is the ask price. 6,020 square feet. Well-built office building. All 5 units are currently leased. You got ample parking and a beautiful property with a metal roof. So those metal roofs last a long time. Orient Road, just down the road from the casino, one of our hot listings here in Tampa Bay. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right. Sam Mckeown back in studio. Welcome back, sir.
It's good to be back, Brandon. How you doing?
Excellent. Yep. Blessed
Stay
and
up
highly
late
favored.
Sunday night?
Yeah, you're watching that Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, I know my Eagles didn't pull it out, but
yeah.
It was a good game.
Yeah, it was.
Game.
It was entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it was. You had to do 2 best teams in football, so.
I think so.
Yeah, it was a good game. So, did you stay up, was it Thursday night, and watch all of the ramblings?
No.
You didn't watch the State of the Union.
Oh,
How could you miss how great this country is doing right now under the current administration?
Exactly. I heard it was a lot of lies is what I heard.
I would say that if he'd been Pinocchio, he could have filled a football field with his nose.
I think so.
It was, yeah. My wife and I stayed up I don't know why we stayed up. I really don't. We normally don't watch much that he says. So, but yeah, it's been an interesting week. Your last guest, you were talking about some of the stuff that's going on in the train wreck up in Ohio, and there's been massive things like that. We have to be prepared for it, but we also can't be worried about, am I going to die tomorrow?
Right.
We have to go forward. We have to build business. We have to keep moving on, and we have to look forward to the next elections. We have to look forward to the next steps all the time, And this past week has been really kind of interesting with, I got my family here from Ukraine, and there's some things that we're dealing with and some government entities that are difficult to deal with and some things we're dealing with there. But it brought me back to, last year was a difficult year for me. I had some severe health issues and stuff like that. And my pastor and I started a podcast a little bit before I got into some of those health issues. It's called Today is My Favorite Day, and it's based on his book. David Towner, senior pastor at the Harbor Church in Odessa, wrote a book called Today is My Favorite Day. And he wrote it after his bout with cancer.
Wow.
And he went in for appendicitis to go take his appendix out and, wakes up and says, you have cancer.
Wow.
They took out, I can't remember how much of his intestines they took out, and so pastors are human, and a lot of people put pastors way up on pedestal and stuff like that, and they just do. And so David came out of this, he wrote this book, and it has grounded me in my thought process with my health and trying to get healthy again and things like that. And when I struggle day to day, because he has 6 truths, and they're simple. I'm breathing. We're breathing. We're alive, right? We're not alone. We were never meant to go through this life alone. We're not alone. Right. God's with us all the time. I'm loved. I have direction. We have direction. We have a way to go in our life.
Yep.
I have meaning. You have meaning. I have meaning. We all have meaning. We are here. Every person we come in contact with, I believe, is a divine appointment.
Right.
God put them there for a reason.
Right.
And number 6 is I have a future. No matter what, I have a future. Whether that's finishing up life here on earth,
right,
or life after life,
right.
And so by they're simple. They're so simple. And when you talk to people, when I'm coaching people, they're all stressed out about all these things that are going on around the world. Can you be stressed out about what's going on in Ohio? Yeah, I feel for those folks up there.
Yeah. All right, we're going to leave it there. We're going to come back more with, we got Sam McKeown in studio, executive coach. We're going to talk about the power of focus, where you focus, where your focus goes, your energy flows. We're going to talk with him, Alive and at Peace coaching, coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Later on, we also have Mike Murphy Auto Group coming on as well. And our feel-good story of the day, wheelchair duo fulfills dream of qualifying for Boston Marathon. Feel-good story of the day. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram, Twitter, Getter, all the sites, and subscribe to the YouTube. We'll be right back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate those that support the program, calling into the hotline, 813-917-1894. You can call or text. You can also email brimes@kw.com, 813-917-1894. brimes@kw.com. And hot listing for this segment, we got a property here. This is let's look at this Southwind Drive property in Hudson. This is waterfront on the Gulf of Mexico. You have no backyard neighbor. The Gulf of Mexico is your backyard neighbor. It's 0 Southwind Drive in Hudson, Florida. You've got boat dock at the end of the street, or space for a boat dock, and you got bay access. Southwind Drive in Hudson. Great opportunity to own vacant land right here in Tampa Bay in Hudson, Florida. 16400 Gulf Boulevard, North Reddington as well. This is a condo on the beach. It's actually technically a co-op, but it's 400 square feet right on the Gulf of Mexico. Beachfront property in North Reddington Beach at 16400 Gulf Boulevard, 400 square feet, and you got a covered balcony overlooking the pool and the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of the beautiful Gulf of Mexico. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Sam McKeown in the house, executive coach, Sam McKeown, Alive and at Peace coaching. And Sam, we were talking a little bit about some of these principles that you're talking about with your pasture.
Right.
Let's continue on. I love that list.
Well, the thing is we overcomplicate things. Mm-hmm. And life is just not that complicated, right? And when you look at circumstances, situations, things like that, how are you going to cope? What are you going to cope with? Are you going to worry about a train wreck in Ohio?
Right.
I pray for those folks up there. I pray that they're safe. And all that I've read, it was very toxic. And I think you mentioned Chernobyl. Only by the grace of God was my wife not in the Chernobyl area when that happened. They had gone to Kiev for some reason.
Wow.
And otherwise, she wouldn't be here. And so, God works in mysterious ways. I really feel for those people, but I can't be worried about it. I can't be, I have to focus.
Can't control it.
Yeah, I can't control it. What the government or a government is going to do, we can't control. They're going to do it. All we can do is elect good, solid, faith-based people.
Right.
People who are solid in their faith. And unfortunately, not enough of us get out and vote. And
right.
So, but yeah, I think where we put our focus has got to be on life principles that we believe in.
Right.
Keep things simple. These 6 truths. It really boils it down to the basics of life. God gave us another day. I'm breathing.
Yeah.
I'm not alone. I always struggle with. I'll be honest with you. Early on in life, it was one of those. I couldn't ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in and out of church my whole life. I've been ordained as a pastor since the early '80s, and my biggest fallacy, asking for help. Going to a pastor friend, going to somebody else, say, "Hey, would you pray for me? Hey, this is what I'm struggling with."
Right.
And I'll tell you what, men have that.
That's what I was going to say. Do you think it's more men than women?
It is a man thing. Yeah, I can do this. I can get through this, and
I don't need their help.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't. We're not meant to do it alone. We were never meant to do it alone. You look at 2 perspectives. If you go back to Genesis, God looked down and saw man and said, "Ain't no way he's doing it by himself." And so he gave him a helper, a helpmeet, and a woman, because then maybe the man would get something done. So you can look at it the other way around. But but that's it. We were never meant to go through life alone.
Right.
And so I would encourage folks, if they're struggling, you got to reach out to people. You got reach out to somebody you trust.
Right.
Because people are people and they talk, right? So, but realize, you're up. You have a divine appointment today. There's somebody that you have to come in contact with that you can be a positive influence on today.
Right.
And when God's done with us, then we're not breathing anymore. We're going on to a better life. So it's just, I don't know. I kind of felt energized about it today.
Well, that's a good message. I think that's a good message, and I love some of those principles from the Bible. It seems we need to get back to more of those and bring more of that back into school and into government. And in my opinion, it needs to be in there. But some of the things like seeing it before it's actually real. Like Paul, one of my favorites is Paul said, "Call forth those things that be not as though they were."
Right.
What does that mean to you when you hear that? Right.
Yeah. Well, so that goes into your dream, into your vision.
Right.
If you can't speak to what it is God's laid on your heart to do, and see it and call it forth, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You speak it into existence.
Exactly.
Then it's not a dream. It's a hope. It's a wish. It's it's fantasy. Okay. Might as well take it to Disney because it's not going to come true. Right.
Right.
But if you can speak it like it's happened, and it's been revealed to you by the Holy Spirit that this is what is meant to be. Right. It's meant to be.
Right.
And speak it. Paul Martinelli does a course called Fully Resourced, and one of Paul's statements is, if you thought it, you were already fully resourced to be able to accomplish it.
Right.
And if you think like that, when you have that thought for a business, you have that thought for a product or something like that, you're fully resourced to be able to bring that forth. And that goes to what Paul said.
Yeah.
God gives you that inspiration. You get that. It's time to move on it.
Yeah, you had that thought for a reason. It's there. Yes. It's implanted, and you wouldn't have that thought if there was not the resources or resourcefulness to fulfill it.
Exactly. Fully resourced, 100%. Everybody, and people get to a point where they think, well, I failed this many times. This hasn't worked. That hasn't worked. Look, we mentioned Disney. Now, Walt's probably rolling over in his grave, and so is Roy. But from what they envisioned, but. If he hadn't stepped up, and he failed how many times? Bankrupt, I think 3 times. I could be wrong on that one. I don't remember exactly. But he was a failure in business. They told him he'd never make it. He'd never make anything of himself.
Colonel Sanders. I mean, all those stories.
76 years old, I think, was when Sanders came up with the recipe for KFC. Yeah. So you can't give up.
Right.
And I have to believe that. I'm pushing 7 decades, so.
Nice. And so you have a business here locally.
I do. Who's
your target market? Who do you want to help out there?
I have 2. One is more of a faith-based deal, and I'll talk about that if we get to it. But I'm working with business people right now, trying to make sure that they have their goals and their dreams lined out, and how to get from point A to point B. So it's not life coaching. It's business. Is your plan in place? Where do you want to go? How do you want to get there? Now let's make a plan to get there. And what skills do you need? Do you need people skills? Mm-hmm. What skill? And most of it is people skills.
Right.
You were talking to your guy about hiring. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm working with a gal now who every hire has been a bad hire.
Wow.
And it's not been personality. They've been pre-screened and everything else, but there's no final check.
Right.
And so one of the things I'll do for her is I will be her final interviewer, because I've got no skin in the game.
Right.
It's a matter of this is what we need.
Right.
And so this will be good hire. This won't be good hire. And there's nothing wrong with bringing an outside source in to be that final. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't do this, or
That's
maybe this is a good hire. So,
exactly.
And I'm working with a few sales professionals on a little bit different. You know how many salespeople don't have a script?
Oh man!
I mean, it's
just
insane.
Shoot off the hip, huh?
Yeah, shoot from the hip, right?
Yeah.
And no training, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So, but I'm working more with business people and businesses right now. I've been teaching some sales. I've been teaching some communication skills. Working with DISC, personality profile, and more the communication side of that. That's been one of my biggest successes, is taking businesses who, there's 6, 8, 10, 12 people in the business, and let's face it, you get more than one person in the business, somebody's going to butt heads, right?
Right.
And so you have to know how to talk to one another, and that's
Absolutely.
what DISC does.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important. Even in the listing side, the Win with Sellers class I was mentioning earlier, that's something I teach, I talk about as well. Sam Mckeown, he's an executive coach, Alive and At Peace Coaching. How do you want folks to find your website, your social?
Well, the website is samandreadalive.com. You can find me there, and Sam Mckeown on Facebook. I have a Alive and at Peace page on Facebook, but unfortunately I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it.
Okay.
It's my YouTube is Coach Sam Mckeown.
Sam Mckeown. Okay. And samandreadalive.com?
Yes, sir.
samandreadalive.com. Find him online. You can also reach out to the show hotline. Of course, we'll put you right in touch. Sam, always great catching up with you, man.
Every time I enjoy it.
Thanks.
Trying to think of something to keep you going, though, sometimes.
There we go. All right. Catch me off guard next time, maybe.
I will try.
All right. Coming up, Mike Murphy, owner, Murphy Auto Group, our auto industry expert. We're going to catch up with him here in just a moment. Also, our feel-good story of the day. Find out about this wheelchair duo that fulfills a dream of qualifying for the Boston Marathon. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Sport.